guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Moss Acura of North Tampa, and guess what? We have another SUV from Acura that we want to bring you. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Acura MDX A-Spec. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, all-on sporty style, let's talk about what's going on here. Acura. They really have something almost for everybody. It really is interesting how the brand has been adapting and changing, especially now that the iconic vehicle, the NSX, that halo vehicle, no longer exists in their lineup. But don't let that bring you down, because there are still plenty of performance-oriented vehicles to choose from. Now, what's interesting is that the A-Spec kind of is on that balance. If you don't want to go all in to the performance realm, but you do want sporty, luxurious style and feel, that's where the A-Spec comes into play. Now, it's interesting. There's lots of competition in this segment, especially with this being a three-row. It's a mid-size three-row SUV. So what I want to find out is the MDX A-Spec the best one to buy? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, the color. Performance red, looking good, especially in the Florida sun. And the way that they shaped the front end really shows their sporty attention to detail. I love the way the headlight housing is on the smaller side, that multi-jewel LED beam headlights, the daytime chicane running lamps, and of course our turn signals. The one zonk, the big zonk, is this. What the heck is going on here? Could have been a functional air curtain. Put fog lamps here. Now, the good news is you do get fog lamps down below, and it's that same multi-jewel beam setup with a little bit of gloss black, because this is the A-Spec trim. But they could have done something here, and I feel like that is just a little bit of a letdown. But everything else, the way they sculpted this, looks spectacular. Now, as we come across the front grille area, you're gonna get a little balance of some flat black and some gloss black. A-Spec brings you gloss black all the way around the perimeter of the grille, and then you'll notice that multi-piece grille design, fully functional. You have an Acura badge that you can actually turn these into a clock, an analog clock, and hang it on your wall. That's how big it is. It's almost like back when I was in middle school, we used to take chunks of wood, like from a tree, the trunk of a tree that's been sliced, and turn those into clocks. I think my parents still have mine. Maybe I should go get it and put it in my garage. But anyways, nice large Acura badge. Flat black on the lower portion, but you do have functionality. And I like the way they kind of sculpted the lower lip, color matched on that lower portion there. Gives it a nice balance of black and color to it, so it's not just all blah. Now, as we rise up, I love the fit and finish. It's almost like the Egyptians built this Acura MDX. Nice tight body lines. You have a peak that comes up, goes towards the windshield. And then I like the way they do the alternate set of body lines, because you have these diagonal ones that are like V for victory, but you also have then some peaks on the far corners. Lots of attention to detail. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. You're gonna notice you're gonna get on the A-Spec these 20-inch wheels, and you'll notice you'll hear a race car. They're actually testing a race Mazda Miata up and down Florida Avenue. I wonder how long that's gonna last before the cops show up. But anyways, shark gray finish. Damn, that Miata sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Anyways, the wheel, it's not my favorite, but I've seen worse. I like the color though, and I like the way they actually give you black lug nuts, which is cool. Now on the A-Spec, they do tweak the suspension and the brakes to give you that sportier balance. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this tire? You're basically looking at 255 on the width, 50 series sidewall, and that's a 20-inch wheel. Now, as we come down the side, I am gonna have to zonk the flat black. No flat black around the fender opening on a sport luxury SUV. So that's a zonk. I do like the A-Spec badge. And then I'm still on the fence. I don't know how I feel about this. So you'll notice how the trim from where the mirror is goes into the front fender. Let me know if you like that or not. I almost feel like I want to peel this off and not have it there. I feel like why? Why did they do that? Because you do have the gloss black on the mirror caps. They are folding, of course. Gloss black around the window openings, color matched on the door handles, and then just a little bit of gloss black on that lower portion. The rest is all flat black on the side skirt extension. Now coming towards the rear, you'll notice how it's interesting how they were able to fit a third row in here. This is a 3-row, but I think you're gonna be not surprised that there's not much room back there. But I'll show you, I'll get back there, I'll take one for the team. Now as we swing it around back, I do love the rear on this thing. The way they did the taillights, full LED, your MDX badge, super handling all-wheel drive. My only complaint, my only zonk is that they should be gloss black. Get rid of this wiper. Take this spoiler, extend it back just a little bit and tuck it underneath there. Would really clean up this and allow the Acura badge to be the focus rather than the wiper. Wouldn't you rather focus on that than that? A-Spec badge to top it off. And then as we drop it down, I'm not in love with the exhaust. The people at Acura already know that. It's like a vacuum style handle cleaner type thing. Not digging it, but they are stainless steel tips, and the best news is they are functional, whereas a lot of the competition put fake exhausts on their vehicles. What the heck? Why? But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our MDX. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Now the great news is where a lot of the competition is going to small 4-cylinder turbocharged engines, you still get a V6 in this. And I like the way they did the engine cover, naturally aspirated V6. It's a 3.5 liter producing 290 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in about 6.3 seconds. Top speed is governed to 112 miles an hour. MPG's 19 in the city, 25 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 4,514 pounds. Now, like I said, nice to see the V6. What I want to know is, what does it sound like? So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's fire up this MDX and hear it sound. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Acura MDX A-Spec. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want a new crossover SUV. I'm sick of these things that are looking like boxes or like eggs. I'm really digging the design of the MDX, especially with the super handling all-wheel drive. How much is this A-Spec? Very good question. MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is right at $62,000. Let's see what Acura is bringing to the door panels. Love all of the materials. Soft touch, that's real aluminum finish. There is some gloss black that's not my favorite, but you can see that you have 3 memory seat settings, which are awesome. Red stitching throughout the ELS Studio 3D sound system with all the speakers, aluminum speaker grille covers, and a large enough door pocket to where you could go to the Florida State Fair, get 3 giant elephant ears in there, and a bottle of water to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the red stitching, the aluminum, this gloss black has got to go. Too much gloss black. Not that you're touching it, it's just too much. I do like the red stitching, and you do have a little nook here for a 12 volt. Get yourself a radar detector just to be safe. 12.3 inches. 12.3 inches of infotainment system screen. No, it's not a touchscreen, so don't even ask. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with it because you just use the touchpad to go through the screen. Now, I'll put it into reverse. There's your backup camera. Pretty clear resolution. I just wish it was a little bit more clear, and I wish the image was just a little bit larger. And I'm surprised at $62,000 we don't have 360-degree cameras. That's a big zonk. But I do like the aluminum start-stop button. You do get dual climate with these nice toggle switches. Heated seats, 3 stages, and then of course ventilation, 3 stages. Dynamic mode selector, you go through your different modes by twisting, snow mode, and you have individual mode where you could set up all your preferences. We're gonna leave it in sport mode. That's how I like to live my life. Hit that, you got a USB-C, USB-A. That's for your 10-speed automatic. There's the touch pad. It's not a big deal once you get the hang of it. This is where you could put 2 packs of candy cigarettes, 2 cup holders. There's your Acura key fob. Nice, fancy. Wireless charging, a nice little palm rest right above your wireless charger. Stitching is on needlepoint. Lift this up. You got a little place here for some Skittles, maybe some Jujubes, maybe some circus peanuts. Or you can lift this up. You got a USB-A, another 12 volt, and you got enough room in there. I would say you could probably put 4 VHS tapes. You know how your parents used to film everything thinking that you were going to watch it again? Well, guess what? There's going to be a day that you want those memories. You're going to want to rewatch them. You're going to want to maybe show them to your kids. Keep them in there so that they don't get all effed up and not viewable anymore. My advice is take them to a store and get them transferred onto DVD. Then you can upload it to the cloud and you'll be immortal. When you're 5 years old, your Christmas will be immortal for everybody to watch. Seats, the leather, the stitching, the Alcantara. You do have full power adjustments for the passenger, full power adjustments for the driver. I like the way it's got a blacked out headliner. And then of course we got that ginormous panoramic sunroof. One touch operation on the power shade. But you know what? This is only half the story. Come over to this side. I want to show you behind this NSX inspired steering wheel in this MDX. All right, guys. Business time behind the wheel. You do get 3 memory seat settings for the driver. I love that aluminum sill plate with the LED lighting. And then, of course, a pedal box taken right from the ARX Acura race car. Nice large dead pedal, brake, and throttle, all aluminum. You got the A-Spec all-weather protection. And then, of course, you have all your seat controls, very easy to get to. I'm 6 feet tall. It feels fantastic in here. The steering wheel, very racy. The 2 different types of leather, the A-Spec badge, the flat black on all the switchgear. You have these paddles to go up and down the 10-speed automatic. It is a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And you do have that 12.3-inch digital display that shows you all the information you could ever want. You could scroll through different information, including things like a G-meter. So that's kind of fun when you're hitting the twisty bits. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back seat, actually the mid-row, because remember there's 3 rows in this thing, and see if your passenger is going to be happy you went MDX. All right, guys, mid-row time in this 3-row SUV. And what you're going to find is a lot of versatility. First of all, you have a ton of room back here. But wait until I show you some of the other goodies. Now, you do have plastic on the back of the seats. This is perfect for when your kids are snotting all over the place. You could wipe all those boogers off. You do have a large pocket here. You could easily put, I would say, maybe 2 cookie cakes. And then I like the command center. You have your temperature control, blower fan, your 2 vents, 2 USB-As. Underneath here is nothing. Underneath here is a 12 volt. I wish they would give us a home power source. It's like they said they were thinking about it, and then they changed their mind last minute. So that's a zonk. I would like to have a home power supply there. Sitting here, seats are comfortable. You do have the manual creeper shades to put up, and these seats do slide. And of course, they recline just a little bit. Now here's the cool thing. You could have a seat here, or you could have captain's chairs. Put yourself 2 7-Eleven hot dogs, 2 cup holders, or you could actually remove this whole thing and just have 2 seats. That's how versatile this SUV is. But let's go ahead, let's get back into that 3rd row and see if it's a tight fit for people my size in this MDX. All right, guys, 3rd row time. And if you're 6 feet tall like myself, it sucks. It sucks being back here. I'm sorry. I don't know what other nicer way to put it. My knees are way too high. I had to move the seat all the way forward. If you're looking at a competitor to this, like the Lexus TX, you get a lot more room. Now, it is a larger SUV, so I mean, yeah, it's still mid-size, but it is larger than this MDX, but you do get more room. So you got to really value, are you going to be putting lots of people back here? Then maybe I would go with something a little larger. But if you're not, then just keep this third row folded down. I think that would be probably the best result. Other than that, you do have 2 cup holders, no AC vents back here, no connectivity. And remember, that's $62,000. But let's get into the cargo area and see how much room we have for your stuff in this MDX. All right, guys, cargo area time. You're just gonna hit the button, nice electric assist, and then you're gonna be greeted to about 16 cubic feet of space. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, why is this plastic? I don't know if I like that. Well, if you don't, watch this. First of all, you got tons of storage under here. So you could easily put, I would say, about 15 boxes of Twinkies. The other thing you could do is this. You take it out, and then you put it back, and then now you have your carpet. So you get to have it your way, just like Burger King. We do have a 12 volt, plug in a electric air compressor so you can blow up all those rafts and things that your kids want to play with at the beach. You do have a nook here where you could pretty much put 2 gallons of milk. And then, check this out, time to fold down the seat. So if you don't like 16 cubic feet, you could fold these down, and it's so simple. I mean, even a caveman could do it. The seats and the feet flop down. Now you're looking at, believe it or not, 48.4 cubic feet of space. You fold down that mid row, you're looking at 95 cubic feet of space. And this is really where the MDX excels compared to the competition. Lots of configurable space back here. But why don't we go ahead? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little all-wheel drive, super handling on throttle, and see how this goes. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Acura MDX A-Spec. Now, like I was mentioning earlier, what's great about this crossover SUV is that you have a naturally aspirated V6. A lot of the competition has moved over to smaller displacement turbocharged engines, 4 cylinders, to be quite frank. And even though they produce plenty of power, there is nothing like the low down torque of a V6, and just very smooth in operation and in function. Now, the layout of everything is fantastic. The bad news is a lot of this area where you're touching is gloss black. I personally like the fact that it's not a touchscreen. I know I've said that in many of my other Acura reviews. I'm okay with the touchpad. It's very simple. I mean, you want to go to your home screen, here you are. Now you can slide very easily, go back to navigation. It's an easy 1, 2, 3 thing. Steering wheel, perfect thickness. They put the paddles just in the right spot. And these seats are very sporty, but also very comfortable at the same time. The one thing I'm surprised the A-Spec does not have up here is a head-up display. No head-up display, but you do have that super clear 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and then you can scroll through different information on it. That is real easy to read, thankfully. Visibility is great, and the operation of that 10-speed automatic is buttery smooth. Now, you are getting some simulated sound pumped into the cabin, but it's nothing too atrocious. I really feel like Acura does a great job with bringing just a nice little sound for background noise to kind of complement what's already happening. And I think that's where they get it done right, whereas other brands really try to make this crazy synthetic experience, which just does not come out very nicely. But brakes feel good, steering is wonderful, the feedback is just, you get so much communication. And even though this is not a Type S, you still want to have that communication for when the road does get twisty, or when maybe it's raining or snowing. You want to have that good communication coming through the wheel. But definitely, everywhere you're touching, I really like the quality of the materials, especially the stitching. Stitching really is on point. Just that gloss black over there is not my favorite. But the fact that you have the ventilated seats, you have the heated seats, If you go up to Type S, you do get massage seats, which is something to think about if that's something that you really got to have. But even when driving in traffic, it's very simple to navigate with this SUV. The challenge is do you need more room for the third row? Because as we showed, the MDX is tight on third row space. But let's see if we could get going a little bit here and see how this MDX drives. Because like I said, with the super handling all-wheel drive, it does a fantastic job of getting the power to the ground. It is front-wheel drive based, and then it will send power to the rear wheels when needed. And then it could differentiate where that power is being sent to, whether it's the right side or the left side of the vehicle, where more of the power needs to be sent to back there. Not a lot of noise, not a lot of vibration, which is good. A little bit of road noise, but you know, that's to be expected, 20-inch wheel. But I want to show you how this thing goes on throttle and handles some of the twisty bits here. But why don't we go ahead and see if we can accomplish that. On throttle, here we go. 10-speed drops down and we are off. Nice shifts. On the brakes. Here we go, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Acura delivers on all of their vehicles, is just great handling response and communication. And then of course, when you're in sport mode, that's gonna adjust how the transmission and the engine behave with one another. That's why I was holding on to that gear in case I wanted to go back on throttle. If you're in normal mode or comfort, it's gonna behave differently. So I like the way you have those distinct different personalities from mode to mode. All right guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the drive button again. That's gonna put us into sport shift mode. You get a small gear indicator. Let me slow down a little bit here. Second gear. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Into this left-hand bend, very nice. Very composed, very controlled. Look at that. Ha! Grips it like Gorilla Glue. Very, very responsive. And like I said, whether you're going up the 10 speed or down the 10 speed, it shifts very, very quickly and it's very competent. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of the 2024 MDX A-Spec. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, been another great day here at Moss Acura North Tampa. Definitely want to thank Albert, Angelo, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2024 MDX A-Spec. Let me know what you think. Are you thinking that this is one of the best to buy, or are you liking something else? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rights family. Of course, we need to give it up, Stephen Flood Photography. He's working the camera like a champ. Follow him on Instagram, SFloodPhoto. He takes good photos. That's what he does. He lives and breathes cameras. Besides Gundam, video games, and working out. He does that stuff as well. But show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.